A bird in hand is worth salmonella on the other side of the pond? Alright folks, gather round. Let's talk chicken. Not just any chicken, mind you, American chicken. You know, the kind that's practically synonymous with bucket and deep fried. But here's a fun fact that might make you put down that drumstick. Europe has basically banned the stuff. Yeah, you heard that right. Those baguette-munching, beret-wearing folks across the pond. They're giving our chicken the bird. Why, you ask? Are our chickens suddenly sprouting extra wings and developing a taste for French philosophy? Not quite. The reason, as with many international food spats, boils down to one word: safety. More specifically, it's about the way we raise our chickens in the good old US of A. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive into the wild world of poultry politics. From backyard clucking to industrial crowing, the rise of American chicken. Picture this: a quaint American farm, circa 1950. A few dozen chickens roam free, pecking at the ground, soaking up the sun. Grandma's humming a tune as she collects eggs destined for a homemade apple pie. Sounds idyllic, right? Well, that Norman Rockwell painting of American agriculture is about as outdated as rotary phones and poodle skirts. The truth is, the American chicken industry has undergone a massive transformation. We're talking bigger birds, faster growth times, and chickens packed together tighter than rush-hour commuters on the subway. It's all about efficiency, baby. This shift towards industrial-scale farming has, unfortunately, come with a few unwanted side effects. And by side effects, I mean potential health risks that have led to our feathered friends being blacklisted by an entire continent. So, let's talk about the elephant in the chicken coop, or should I say the antibiotic in the chicken nugget? Pumping poultry antibiotics, and the quest for bigger birds, faster. Here's the deal. When you cram a bunch of animals into close quarters, disease spreads faster than gossip in a small town. To keep those chickens healthy, and let's be honest, profitable, farmers turned to antibiotics. At first it seemed like a miracle cure. Sick chickens? Antibiotics. Slow-growing chickens? More antibiotics. Bored chickens? You guessed it, antibiotics. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Overusing antibiotics is like giving the bacteria equivalent of a black belt in karate. The weak ones get wiped out, sure, but the strong ones, they adapt, evolve, and come back with a vengeance, becoming resistant to the drugs we thought could defeat them. Think of it like this. Imagine if every time you had a cold, you popped the strongest antibiotics you could find. Eventually those drugs would stop working because the cold viruses would become immune. You'd be stuck with a super-powered cold, and nobody wants that. Superbugs, when tiny bugs become big problems. Now let's talk about the consequences of our antibiotic love affair. Remember those super strong bacteria we talked about? They're not just hanging out in chicken coops, they're out in the world, spreading through contaminated food, water, and even just by being in the air we breathe. These antibiotic-resistant bacteria, or superbugs as the cool kids are calling them, are a serious threat to human health. Infections that were once easily treatable are becoming harder to fight, and in some cases even deadly. Here's the kicker. While the US chicken industry has made some efforts to reduce antibiotic use, we're still lagging behind other countries, particularly those in Europe. And that brings us to our next point. Across the pond. Why Europe said non to American chicken. Unlike the Wild West of American poultry farming, Europe has taken a much stricter stance on antibiotics. They've recognized the dangers of overuse and implemented regulations to protect both human and animal health. In many European countries, using antibiotics to promote growth in healthy animals is a big no-no. It's like trying to sneak a big gulp into a movie theater. Not allowed. This difference in regulations is a major reason why European consumers are saying au revoir to American chicken. They're essentially saying, we prefer our poultry without a side of potential superbugs. Thank you very much. And you know what? They've got a point. The chicken or the egg, your choices matter. So, what have we learned today? Well, besides the fact that the American chicken industry is more complicated than a Christopher Nolan movie, we've also discovered that our food choices have consequences. The way we raise animals for food has a direct impact on our health and the environment. By demanding higher standards from food producers, we can encourage a shift towards more sustainable and responsible practices. Think of it this way. Every time you buy chicken, you're casting a vote. Are you voting for a system that prioritizes profit over public health, or one that values transparency and responsible antibiotic use? The choice is yours. Just remember, folks, when it comes to chicken, it's not just about the taste, it's about the bigger picture.